Okay, everyone, I'm Dave. I'm going to introduce it to you today. It is the first product of my newly founded brand Enlightenment and Brand. Fuyun, what about brands? I wrote an article, do a detailed introduction. Here are only 3 keywords for the brand. Fun, good-looking, and easy to buy. Fun is the foundation of toys, and it should be a matter of course. So I don't do it here. I think it's divided into 2 levels. First of all, there must be a design with a high aesthetic level, but it is not enough. It is also necessary to use first-class processing technology to present the design, the desired effect. The first 2 products of the open bed are both OEM production in the top factory in the circle. The follow-up will continue. And good buying is a contradictory thing because the circle is relatively small. Demand is also relatively low compared to other consumer products. PC processing is also relatively slow. Therefore, if the product is popular, it is relatively difficult to buy and unpopular. It's easy to buy, but you probably won't buy it. Therefore, good buy will be our long-term goal. Most products and materials will not be available in limited quantities. If you want more, you will supply more demand, and if you want less, you will produce less and open things. But every new product will be ready for sale after hundreds of sets are in stock. Sales channels will also be flexible. Maximize the purchasing experience for players. After the brand introduction, let's talk about the first product. The first product is called Floating Cloud. It is a mediocre mechanical pusher. After all, it's 2025. Do an upper and lower paragraph mode, 8 segments intensive mode, 16 sections of mechanical pushers. I think it can only be mediocre. And if the gameplay is destined to be mediocre, is there anything that can be innovated by the mechanical pusher? Some brothers, some. I was in the pit 2 years ago because of the pig's nose product a month ago. All in contact are magnetic push rows. Magnetic push row is connected by magnetic adsorption. Refreshing and clean, it is 2 symmetrical pieces when broken. There is no structure of courage. The mechanical push row, because it is necessary to design a buckle to pull the upper and lower pieces. This resulted in 3 things I didn't like. The first is the center column. Generally, it is a Teflon middle column, especially for some products, the middle column will be exposed. It's extremely unfriendly for a player like me. The second, screws. Regardless of the leakage of the central column, or hide inside, basically screws are needed to fix it. Unscrew 2 to 4 screws each time you debug the feel. It is more cumbersome to screw back 2 to 4 screws. The third is the amount of because the structure of the mechanical push row is the middle column. Pull the 2 main bodies, and the spring and beads open at the same time. 2 pieces of the main body, so press the 2 pieces to have the amount of being able to hear the sound is also the practice of mechanical pushing. Of course, this is a magnetic push and there is no sound. My dream is to build a screwless one. Mechanical push and drain without mineral volume. Theoretically, the best solution is the magnetic push-through 2-piece aroma scheme. But the round magnet, the aroma push will jump. The long magnet is used to attract each other, and when pushed out, it will bounce back. Little yellow croaker, an excellent mechanical push. It is the rebound effect made by using this principle. But if it is a short magnet, slide within the length of the long magnet. It won't bounce back. And the movement process is uniform and consistent. Can stop steadily in any position. Okay, the long magnet and the short magnet have become the core connection solution of the floating cloud. But problems also arise. The long magnets we purchase online, although they are all nominally N52 level, even if they are the same store, the same shipment, the expression between individuals, the actual gap is as high as hundreds and is far from the level of N52. At the same time, the edges are broken, and the color of the plating is inconsistent. Also a common problem. So we decided to find a first-class magnet manufacturer, direct customization, and finally found a magnet supplier to supply Samsung, Sony, and Panasonic. Customized according to our required length, width, height, and rounded corner data. Although the cost is relatively high, it ensures the individual consistency of the magnet. And the texture and appearance of the plating will also be more average. The magnet is good. A lot. Speaking of which, you may ask, did the floating clouds finally choose real N52 magnets? It's really useless, because the magnetic force of the real N52 magnet is too strong. We can only scrap the earliest custom 4000 N52 magnets. In the end, I chose this magnet with more than 3000 customized expressions. How much is 3000? I won't make it public here. This magnetic data ensures stability. Adsorption does not disintegrate. It can be disassembled relatively easily, because it is a pure magnetic link structure. So we really made a non-central column, no screws. The 3-no mechanical push and dismantling without mineral volume only takes 1 step. Break it open and you're done. Then let's take a look at a bead groove inside. If the 3 spring groove spring beads are placed in position 1 or 3, it is the feel of the broken anchor. If you put 1 and 3, it will have a stronger paragraph feel. And put one of them in the middle number 2, for example, like this, then you can achieve a dense feel. If you put a different type of spring in hole 2, can achieve high and low intensive attention, because the magnet here is tightly fixed to the spring, so you can just fill up 3 springs and change the feel mode each time. Just move the beads. Then let's actually listen to the dense paragraphs and high bass dense feel. This is the default paragraph feel from the factory. Very comfortable. This should be tuned to high and low tones densely. So let's try them one by one. I don't remember this either. Is this still a factory paragraph? This is the dark carving sand spraying tie. The sound will be quieter than plastic, and this is a shiny spray stage mode. But the ordinary dense without high and low tones does not seem to be shown. Then let's adjust 1 on the spot, turn it on, then put the beads in position 3 and close them in position 2. This is an ordinary cheat. The debugging of that paragraph is over. But in fact, the feel of the paragraph is only part of the feel of the mechanical push. Part of the feel comes from damping. In layman's terms, it is the uniform resistance force that the push feedback gives you when pushing the row. Generally speaking, everyone debugs the mechanical push row. In fact, it is to adjust the feel of the paragraph by replacing the dark yellow table. And most of the damping feel is fixed from the factory. It cannot be adjusted or it is difficult to adjust. And due to the tolerances caused by Teflon's in-house production, even if it is the same batch of mechanical pushers, there will be obvious individual differences in feel. Because the floating clouds are 2 pieces of fine structure, the consistency of the feel is very high. And this structure also brings a characteristic. That is, the damping strength can be customized. The gap between our upper and lower pieces is 0.2 millimeters, and just put a 0.23 millimeters Teflon tape on the lower cover. It can produce a very comfortable resistance feel. Because the magnet attracts and pushes, the gesture does not have an effect, the resistance is very stable. But we can't let players buy special dragon tape to cut and paste by themselves. Therefore, we tried many different forms factors. In the end, 5 sets of molds were scrapped. After changing 3 suppliers, find a professional grinding and cutting factory and customize the pure lift type special wind dragon sticker. The factory will stick 1 piece by default, and multiple pieces will be attached. If you want stronger damping, you can stick an extra piece on the other side. If you want to reduce damping, you can use nail clippers to reduce the area before attaching it. There was a video before. I once talked about the players who play mechanical pushing cards and are divided into pushing and rubbing. The former is mostly old players, and the latter is mostly new players. Regarding the damping option of floating clouds, just remember the push faction. It can be achieved similarly with the damping feel. The feeling of pressing the ballpoint pen cap, just like that. As for the rubbing pie, I recommend directly tearing off the Teflon sticker from the factory. Feels 0 resistance. Rubbing brings you this silky smoothness. Then at the end, let's talk about the appearance. This is the part that I think needs the least explanation, because for truly beautiful things, it is often easy for everyone to feel. It is a design that is very moist both visually and tactile. The whole is almost flat except for the small parts of the sides and bottom. Although the processing cost is high, but we are really not willing to compromise on design for cost. Finally, let's talk about the price and release plan. The first batch of 300 sets of beige and black PEI produced by us are priced at $269. It is expected to be released in 2 weeks, with the addition of titanium alloys in the next batch. Finally, let's talk about the planning of the follow-up products of the Kaiwu brand. The second product has a wonderful core structure design, and we are also very satisfied with the final feel. The exterior design has been changed 3 times, and I am very satisfied with it at present. Interviews are expected next month, and at the moment, new ideas are emerging in my head. There are almost 6 products that have been planned. If it goes smoothly in the second half of the year, you can achieve a new product every month, and it is good and fun. But the actual landing may be better. But please also ask for your support. Pay more attention. See you on the next product. Goodbye.